up and down.
Jeez.
Yeah, so you should film that. Oh, the way. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, honey.
No comment, no comment. Look at that, go away.
Someone want to shove up all this?
Yeah, Larry will in a minute.
Go, Marcia! Shame.
You can see the big stone now.
Oh, we've got some more.
Hey, can I do it, sir?
No.
Okay. Here you go, Wall.
Get the trolley out.
What are you filming, sir?
Just where the bits are being made. The procedures, so they're in the next week.
Oh, shit.
No, not today, I've got something else to organise it.
Put on your face.
Give us a rest tomorrow, sir. Shut up, Colin.
Well, that'll be your last one, am I right?
Hey? How's that? Yep. That's bigger than the chopping block. No, it's not. Doesn't matter, just chop it in half. So you got to sit there and you it's not this big shingle. Then we do it again. So we got this tomorrow. Oh no, this is hand dirty. Still filming this. We just done that one there. Oh right. What he likes you.
Oh, nice. Good work up.
I'll throw the one at the camera. Slow motion. Hey, Dave and Roy. Yeah, watch.
Use one when he can't go. Yep.
Get me all you guys. Thanks, Kim.
Smile, Robert, you're on camera.
Hey, this is broken. Gonna collapse in a minute. Shovel dirt on me. Oh.
You have to show that we're being fed. You have to show that we're being fed.
Watching him eating.
Do it, sour. Smile on his face. Bud, is that it? You gotta see the shovel now, guys. Don't push this, Mickey.
one.
And then not any
We need more mud here, Wes.
do we?
Let's chuck it from here.
Jamie, the mud that you're using there,
Mud that you made the bricks with.
and how long have you left the bricks to dry before you've laid them in the wall?
Some of these are about 3 or 4 months old. Some are only just 3 weeks old. And they just sit for about 3 weeks.
And in getting those level, I notice you're scraping them out there. How do you know that the bricks are level there?
We've got the string line here, and we put the spirit level up, and if it's level, spirit level, it's usually pretty right.
And do you check the other way as well, across the brick?
It's just the brick. Push it down.
Well, it must be a cement brick, I think. Take it back over the other side. Bloody stripe.
Oh, it's crumbled.
No, it's not. It's just bad.
It's uneven. We haven't been fixing this. This is up too much.
What's up?
That.
Oh, here's another brick.
This brick is up too much.
Stop complaining.
This one's
And where's the joints? Just check this thing.
Yeah. Without the stuff to do, you've got a patty ready for the next one.
Take it quite the way.
Yes, mud starter. They said we didn't have cement. Yes, mud starter. David, they said we didn't have cement.
Oh.
That's cement. Yeah, boys. This lad just put mud all over me. Oh, so we've got cement.
Watch out, mud coming through.
Just there. What you got cement?
Must be
moving?
recording.
Is it moving?
Yep.
Is the tape's going around?
Yep.
Hey, we need some more mud, Brett.
Yeah, you can
No, that's real.
Said you're walking with it.
Mud or get in trouble.
You feel
Get real, girl.
Listen, see you.
No. I'll leave you to do that one, Andrew. Oh, they had the cameras.
You were far away. I'll expect this to be an inspection.
That is 220. That 2.5 goes from 2.5 to 220, you know. Just like a stop. Go.
I'm gonna get dirty again. Took all the mud off of it. You ready? I'll take it.
Cover strip.
What's happened here? Yeah, overlap. Cut a bit off. No, it's all right. Cut a bit off. Right, I'll bring it over on the sheet. While you're doing that, you can measure that one up and get one in there. Measure what? Slug? Where's the tape measure at?
Smooth it out.
That's enough, isn't it?
Okay, the idea of building this project was to give the kids an idea of how they used to build houses about 100 years ago, particularly in Victoria and in South Australia. Each of the mud bricks the students have made themselves, and I'll show you, I've been making some this morning and I'll demonstrate that to you. We're also going to put a shingle roof on it, and I'll show you some shingles, and you'll see a very good shingle roof today at the Pioneer Village when you go over to Kangaroo Valley. The mud we brought into the school, all of that old clay, first of all, if you can come along this way a bit. We throw all the soil through here first of all, and that gets all of these large rocks and stones out, all of these big ones. And then we throw it into here. This is all, and the kids love to get in here without any shoes on. I mix it all up, nice and sloppy.
It's hot in, guys.
We then put some straw in, and the straw binds all the bricks together, holds it all together. Right, straw, hay.
Oh. Now bricks, you have to make, bricks cannot be made without straw, is that right?
They can, but they tend to crack.
Okay, so straw
Straw gives it the strength.
Okay.
We then take a wheelbarrow full up here, and I'll show you how we make the bricks. Excuse me, if we can move along a bit further. I've been making these small ones, small bricks, this morning because we're putting a big round window with stained glass in it on this end of the building, and we want the small bricks to stack around it so that it fits in nicely. And all we do is we bring the mud over, and put it in the... I'll take this one.
Se tekee tiiliä. Se rakentaa taulua. Rakentaa tuota taulua. Mulla on toppia. Onko tää niinku tavallinen?
Now the clay content has to be between 20 and 80%. Right, is that what it said? Yeah. Between 20 and 80. Although there's a beautiful house out along Falls Creek there, and that's only 10% clay. It's real mud brick.
Yeah.
This is a
Smile,
very,
Ralph.
very old, because the ancient village used to build the house there, and they still do.
Right.
People in Egypt. All right, now they're left there for about a week, and then we turn them on their side to dry, and then after 2 weeks they're ready to lay in the wall. And this slab hut, is going to be the tool shed for the cottage. The bark on the roof is stringy bark, and it's a very, very old method. The early cottages, and I'll talk more about housing tonight, the early cottages, they used to take the stringy bark off the trees and then put them on the roof while they were building a permanent shelter, and it keeps the rain out. And I'll come back, I'll just grab some shingles and show you the other.
Around here.
There was, yeah.
Janine,
Yes, Steve.
smile.
Smiling.
After they use bark, they often use what they call shingles. And these are shingles, and they go on the roof like tiles. You put the first one on, like so. Alright, and the next one sit over the top to join up the cracks like that. And then your next one sits there like that.
Do they leak?
No, they don't leak at all. Because you've only got that there, and so much of that under there, it has to blow back uphill then. And the only time would be if you had a driving rain and wind blowing straight up like that would it leak. But when you go to Fitzroy, no, to the Pioneer Village today, you'll see a beautiful shingle roof there, but I think they've used cedar. This is casuarina oak, and the advantage of this one is the grain runs both ways. See there? And therefore it doesn't turn up, but it doesn't split. They had to be made by hand very, very slowly, and I've got the tools over there. I've made all these ones. I built one of these cottages before, and we made 3,000 of them. For this one, we'd need probably about 6,000. So it's going to be difficult getting all the right timber. But we got some to make those ones, and I'll just demonstrate how shingle's made, if you like. Right. Very, very slow and labour intensive, and people would do this all day long. And you can imagine how big their right arm would have been after swinging one of these all day. Now that's a froe, it's called a shingle froe, and this is called the maul. is only a small piece of wood, but it's a good one for using. Use a wider piece of wood. That's only a very small piece, but use a much wider.
What lesson is what's the lesson called?
History lesson? Yeah. I've got two groups. One's a Year 10 Pioneer Cottage group, which is a mini course. They have 3 periods a week, and the other one is my Year 9 history class, and we've been talking about the problems of early housing, and they come down here and we've taken the bark off the trees and we've prepared all the logs for the roof.
Girls
like
as
that.
well?
Oh, the girls are better workers. They stay at their job longer, and they take pride in what they do. They make better bricks, and they'll work at it longer. The boys tend to throw mud down each other's shirts. A couple of girls had a mud wrestle one time. We had to fill right up. Oh yeah, they loved that. Yeah, they really got into the mud. But I think it's a good project because we've had absolutely no vandalism on this at all. You know, because the kids themselves are doing it. They make all the bricks. So far, I'd say 600 people have been involved in it. And that's in the last year and a half, and it might only be to make a brick, or come here for a demonstration such as we have here. But still, they've come down here. And,
Build their own houses.
well, even just learning to use a string line, use the spirit level, you know, learning that you can use the mud that you stand on. Instead of having to buy bricks, and we've got a couple of 3 teachers here who live in mud brick houses. There are about 100 mud brick houses in the Shoalhaven area. So they're very popular. And very good insulators. The temperature range in a mud brick house would be 12 when it's 0 outside, up to 22 when it's 40 outside. Right? So they keep a very, very nice, even temperature all year round. 12 to 22 is very pleasant.
And what are you going to use that building for?
Well, eventually we hope to use it as a model making centre, history model making centre, where kids can actually make forts and Roman soldiers and all different models. We'll be able to store all the materials here and have some benches in there the kids can work there. Then when we have art displays, display all the artwork. I'll show you something else too. A lot of people say, what about if it rains? There are 2 things that you do to stop the rain from weathering it all. The first thing is you make sure your roof comes out a long way so the rain can't drive onto it. The second thing is, this mud has a lot of cow manure mixed in with it. And we mix all the cow manure up, and when you paint it on, it just dries hard, and it's waterproof.
Cow manure?
Yeah, cow manure from the cows over there. Right? Do you want to smell it? No? Okay, so we mix the clay up with that.
How much for that? No, you got to store it first, man. You store them simple.
Don't splash it. Go. It's finished. Give it to,
There should be 4 out here.
there's nothing for me to do.
Oh, my boots feel so heavy.
Where's the video camera? Can I display, please? Can I display? You don't put dirt in here yet because it's all the roots. Yeah, no, but I've got to make some. What? bottom.
Don't get that.
Are you making some too? Yeah. Ah, it's over. Yeah. Hit your mouth, man.
Take it off. That's pretty bad. You've got to lift your end up. Take this one off too. Take it off. Oh, it's better, isn't it?
You're right. Oh, wait. Oh, look here. That's this. Big strong David should be able to hack that.
Where do you want it?
I think you get down here and catch it, man. That is wild. I don't like this drama. Look at it.
Okay.
We might have been better off keeping it out with the bigger rather than giving it a try. That postage conduit pipe's not very good. Yeah, between the manhole and her big width. Oh, never mind. There's another one with the mud down there. Yeah, I reckon we'll find it.
already saw that, Dad.
Probably going to come up actually. I think that's going to come up under the roof. We had this thing going on. Every time something was on, and she was cat born. She had about 40 cats. Everyone who had a cat in town wanted to get rid of it, dumped at her place.
I'm just going to pulp and see if it belongs.
This,
And then you can water that then, Lisa. Coming out to you now, Nina.
So can you get up?
Good David, mate, mate.
Yeah, more in there. And we've got to take this out a little bit so it takes the plants that need shade all the time.
Oh, look at the green on it.
Right.
other way, so turning the other way, stand back.
Neat mega.
To use string levels, water lines or spirit levels is something that they may never come in contact with again, but it's something that they've learned of how important it is to have the bricks in a straight line and have them laying correctly, and that you can actually use natural materials to build things.
Since work started on the cottage, which features a large fireplace, around 582 students have discovered firsthand how Australia's settlers built their homes in the 1800s. Although making mud bricks is a messy exercise, that hasn't deterred students from volunteering for the job.
You find out how people build all the houses and that in the old days.
In addition to mixing mud with cement, students
build all the houses and that in the old days.
In addition to mixing mud with cement, students also had to learn to budget when buying materials such as corrugated iron for the roof. The cottage, located on school grounds, was built using a $3,000 bicentennial grant. The school's history department hopes to use the mud brick structure as a resource area to teach students how to make damper and to cook oxtail soup. Shoalhaven Mayor Alderman Max Atkins will officially open the cottage early next month. Heath Cooper, WIN News.
To do it, it started out as a special dirty, tiring work. But somebody has to do it. It started out as a special project that many thought would never be finished, but now the students from Nowra High School have just about completed their own mud brick house.
They're up to their ankles in mud and they're loving it. Students at Nowra High are learning a very practical lesson in history by building their own mud brick house. It started as a bicentennial project. Now, 2.5 years later, more than 500 adolescent hands have helped in the work.
We're doing rendering to get all the cracks out of the wall and to get it all even.
We're mixing mud with cement to make some bricks. We had to put cement in it to make it stronger because some of the other bricks have been crumbling because they didn't have enough cement in it to hold it together.
First, the mud is squashed, then mixed with cement and poured into wooden forms. After sun drying, the bricks are laid to form the walls. Inside, the house is receiving the finishing touches. It's almost ready for occupation.
Even just learning the degree of intensity that must have gone into building houses in the past, of just how difficult it was, is a lesson for them to learn. I think learning to use string levels, water lines or spirit levels is something that they may never come in contact with again, but it's something that they've learned of how important it is to have the bricks in a straight line and have them laying correctly. And that you can actually use natural materials to build things. I think, once again, it's an important lesson for them.
But for some students, there are other benefits.
Sort of one time I can go to school and get dirty.
Genevieve Hussey, Prime Nightly News.
A bush ban was one of the many activities organised to celebrate the completion of Nowra High School's mud brick cottage. More than 600 students helped build the Pioneer Cottage, which features a veranda and a stained glass window. After inspecting the building, Shoalhaven Mayor Alderman Max Atkins officially opened the mud brick structure.
It has very real historical interest and lasting interest for the thousands of students, particularly students of history, that pass through Nowra High School in the future.
To mark the cottage's opening, a group of history students presented coordinator of the project, Colin Bateman, with a time capsule to be opened in 1999.
In this capsule, which is to be opened in 10 years, there are various objects such as photos, magazines and tapes of music to remind us of what life in 1988 Australia was like, and also life at Nowra High School.
The cottage, which was a bicentennial project, will be used by the school to teach history students how Australia's early settlers lived, including how to make a damper and cook oxtail soup.
Now, but finally, after 3 years, the kids from Nowra High School have finished making their mud brick cottage. The project was started to teach the students a combination of history, personal development and basic construction. And today, as part of Education Week, the project was officially opened.
It's scenes like this which showed Nowra High School students weren't afraid to get their hands and just about everything else dirty for a good cause. And after 18 months, here stands the house that Nowra High built. Students, parents and local business people have been involved in the bicentennial project, which is one of only 2 mud brick cottages established in New South Wales schools.
Some time, over 600 students have worked on the cottage, so I think there's a lot of pride there.
How do you feel today, finally seeing the cottage open?
Very proud of the kids and the role that they played in it too.
The official opening by Shoalhaven Mayor Alderman Max Atkins coincided with the school's annual fete, making the occasion a colourful and musical event.
And the 10 from now, backward place, change places, back to where you started.
Students also prepared a 1989 time capsule to be opened in 10 years' time. Not only does the cottage represent student commitment to the school, it also demonstrates great respect for a bygone era.
It has so many reminders of what our ancestors did, how they lived, the sort of building they lived in and the things that surrounded them, that it can be nothing but a really great project.
Jane Nicholson, Prime Nightly News.